So these things I've heard are bullshit. I don't might be wrong, but
I'm trying to find out.
Well, might
so
that be
that guy,
misinformation?
He's
that
the journalist.
that journalist that unveiled the bodies, and the guy who exposed the bodies. The guy who exposed the bodies, I think, was the guy who came up with it. According to the UFO aficionado, by the way, as soon as you say according to UFO aficionado,
Right.
I already started looking at you.
You believe that?
side-eyed.
Yeah.
The analysis showed that the humanoids are not related to any known earthly species and that 1/3 of their DNA is unknown. It says these specimens are not a part of our evolutionary history of Earth. The university has since distanced itself from Malsan, claiming its scientists took no part in the research and never came in contact with the full corpses. Okay. The presence of carbon-14 allegedly detected in the specimens proved the samples were related to brain and skin tissues from different mummies who died at different times. U.S.
Ryan
Navy
Graves.
pilot Ryan Graves, who attended the hearing to share his personal experience with alleged UFO sightings, later slammed Mao San's presentation as a stunt. He said yesterday's demonstration was a huge step backwards for this issue. Graves wrote on X, formerly Twitter, "I am deeply disappointed by this unsubstantiated stunt." Well, he's a very legitimate guy, Ryan Graves is, and very intelligent. And if he's saying it's a stunt, now I'm super skeptical. He has a history of making controversial claims about other alien remains that have been widely discredited. Okay. In 2017, he participated in a TV documentary about other specimens recovered near Peru's Nazca Lines, which experts have said to have been concocted out of modified mummies.
Yeah.
Have they done an X-ray of the skull? Why would they do that?
I had an X-ray on one of these.
Of the skull?
Here you go.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, dude, it looks like
one of
a
the smaller
skull.
ones, though.
Yeah, but whatever. Look at
this
that
could
thing.
be eggs.
What?
I don't know.
What is that?
Like the ribs look. A little
Imagine
weird.
if you found out those are like anal toys, and they're just freaks.
I do believe one of these they were saying was made up of different animal parts and
Come
stuff.
sit down and put a microphone on.
Well, yes.
So we're looking at X-rays of one of them is bullshit. Look at the X-rays of the skulls, man. Like you're a doctor. Look at that. That looks like real. Right?
That looks like real. Yeah.
Oh, it looks like real bones.
Well,
And
yeah,
a completely
the density,
different. Yeah.
X-ray shows it. The cavalium, the space for the brain.
What is that thing across his chest? What's that thing?
It shows up there, kind of.
Instead of the sternum, it's their form of sternum.
Yeah, I guess right. It's
yeah,
like
because
some
the sternum holes are two sides, left and right together.
Maybe it had surgery.
Yeah.
maybe it's surgery.
Implant.
Jesus. Yeah, maybe that's its like neural link.
Where's this from?
So this is I was like digging more. This is from this year.
Look at that one. Look at that. Show that to Dr. Gordon. Look at the same thing. Different finger, the long fingers, long toes. Same
Still
thing,
three. Yeah.
And real similar in the way they look.
Peru is. So all these are coming out of Peru,
They all came from this
same area.
Look at that X-ray of the skulls, the skeletons,
Yeah.
though. Rather, That's
Those
so,
look
so
real.
fascinating.
Yeah, those look really.
It looks
real.
very weird.
This is what I was seeing too. The videographer isn't known. They don't know who shot this video.
Well, it says the videographer behind the new footage is unknown in no small measure due to the thorny legal and ethical dimensions of handling these allegedly historical and culturally priceless ancient remains. That makes sense. I don't know exactly who shot the video, but there are context clues in the longer version. One source who had also been granted the tape told DailyMail.com. They call them Huaqueros, who has long been involved in the promotion of these Nazca mummies, was convicted of assault on public monuments for taking artifacts in 2022. So if you take these artifacts, they go after you. The man received a 4-year suspended sentence, was fined about 20,000 Peruvian soles, just $5,190 US, according to Reuters. A clear example of the high-risk, extra-legal measures some have taken to seek either truth or profit from these aliens. That makes sense. So it's dangerous to pull them out. You can get in trouble.
So then I think that what I was getting to too was the journalist
Yeah.
has a lawsuit.
He's taken the Peruvian government to court, hoping to negotiate with Peru, as he put it, to be allowed to export the samples to be done in America. The lawsuit is already in for $300 million. Wow. Explained he's pursuing monetary damages to repair his enterprise's damaged reputation, but intends to spend the cash on a museum for the mummies. And hookers and a Ferrari. I want a Ferrari. And, and Dr. McDowell himself has also recently pled with Peru's government in an open letter published in one of the country's top newspapers asking for official permission to study these specimens at top flight scientific facilities in the U.S. Well, I like that. I like that at least he's trying to get them, if it's true, that he's trying to get them studied. But you imagine if you were one doctor who did find these things, you would receive a tremendous amount of skepticism and assholes like me, like making fun of them. West Hollywood, he's at the Mondrian.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff, man. So when you look at that as a doctor, does that look like horseshit to you, or does it look real?
No, it looks real.
These are the hands?
Yeah, they're dissecting it.
They're dissecting it. Whoa. What the man? Whoa.
Yeah, the
Doctor?
dissection,
What
they'll
does that
know.
look like?
That looks like weird bones in a hand. That's creepy. That's so creepy. Look at their skin. I mean, obviously mummified, but how weird. How weird. Look at the bones underneath it. That's crazy. That is so crazy.
And you're going to tell me someone put this together as a joke.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at this. I don't know who's a part of this, but when he peels that back and you see those bones again, that is nuts.
Yeah.
That's so wild. But also, why are those bones so clear for a mummified thing? Those bones look, in my mind, they don't look mummified. They look like more recent. But what do I know? It almost looks wet. Go back to that image.
Yeah, it
I
was
know,
wet.
The other thing was shiny too.
Right. So is that because they put something on it? Or is that what happens when you cut that thing open?
I'll try to find a longer video and see
Oh,
if
you
we
know,
can figure out how they did
them
it.
putting like distilled water on it during the process of
clean it
dissecting
off?
it. Yeah, to dissect it.
Maybe they're trying to clean off the bones and they did something to it to brush it and put
what
water
would-
on it there.
You know,
Whatever that is.
How old did they say that was?
That's a good question.
Did they carbon date it, or
The carbon-
see
I
that
just
would be
saw-
the thing to do is to carbon date it to find
Right.
out whether or not if it's that old, then it should be petrified and therefore it shouldn't look like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like if it's a million years old.
If it's a million years
but
old.
If it's only 500 years old,
It's a
then
totally
things get
different
real
story.
weird.
So the way that the bones should look.
Yeah. It's weird as shit. But the thing is, like, there's so many people that essentially make a living off of lying. They make a living off of bullshitting.